intent.
Well, that's still how I'm still gonna do it.
All right. Well, this is Welcome to Life Short Live Free, episode 22. This is a special episode because we are back together finally. Though we got the whole crew. It's been a while since we've had all of us here. As you can see, it's a little bit rambunctious up in here. But I'm your host, Sam. Today I am a Sammy Malfunction, apparently. We got our Johnson over here. Who's the guy from Shooter?
Bob Lee Swagger.
Bob Lee Swagger. He's working on his Bob Lee Swagger appearance again.
I just call him the tactical lumberjack.
He's got a pretty sweet. Right now he's almost in mullet form. And then after him we got
really is in mullet form.
Mm-hmm.
After him we got the 1911 Buddha. Can't be the 1911 Jesus because we figured he's a little chubbier, so we had to make him the 1911 Buddha.
You don't know what Jesus looked like.
Well, I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
I've seen pictures.
Yeah. Have you never seen pictures, Toad? And
Those
then
are artists' renditions of what they think he would look like. Now, he was supposedly from the Mediterranean area, so he actually probably had dark skin. And who knows?
But he wasn't fat and bald like you and Buddha.
I'm not bald.
You did shave your head like
a couple months ago.
It's all growing back.
Except for the parts where it doesn't grow anymore.
That's true. That's very sad.
And, of course, on the
depressing. Thanks for reminding me of that.
Directly across the table from me, we got our videographer, Box.
And all around swell guy.
Stand-up guy. Just a wonderful person.
All-around swell guy.
He's my favorite person in the group because he doesn't talk.
And, of course, as usual, this is sponsored by Shyworks Cerakote. We are Cerakote certified and factory trained, so if you want anything done, give us a shout, shyworks.com or facebook.com/shyworks.
Not only factory certified, but Iowa's preferred Cerakote applicator.
That's right, Iowa's preferred applicator. So you can check us out on cerakote.com as well, and that'll send you our way. We actually just put out a pretty sweet, we haven't published it yet, but we did a pretty sweet Budweiser gun this week. I'm rather proud of. I think that one turned out.
I don't know why.
Turned out probably just about. I think that's my favorite beer gun that I've done up to this point. It
looks like Budweiser tastes.
It looks
shit.
Rich and full flavored.
No, actually, the gun itself looks freaking amazing. Well done.
Yeah, it did turn out pretty bad.
It looks awesome.
So that'll be published. That'll be published by the time.
That would actually be a really
live,
cool paint scheme with even just without the Budweiser, but just that paint scheme. That's pretty badass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did turn out nice. So, but yeah, like I was saying, we're all finally back together, reunited, and it feels so good.
You know what doesn't? Johnson just gave me a purple nurple 20 minutes ago, and I still feel it. I don't know what part about that feels good.
So I think it's been four, maybe 5 episodes where we haven't had everybody here. So it's kind of nice to get back with the crew here.
Back in the real swing of things.
Yeah. And actually, it's gorgeous out. We did some shooting today, so it's like an old school podcast day again. We went out and did a little competition between us, and
we're only on our 22nd episode of the podcast, and we have to have a throwback to when we actually did things how we normally
when the weather was warm.
Yeah,
but we've been doing it we've been at this a year now.
No,
we started back last
April.
February. No, it was February.
I think that's when
we did the You Bet You Shoot.
Yeah. That's been a year ago.
Okay, so 2 more episodes. This is episode 22. By episode 24, that'll be a year that we've been doing it because we do every other week. So
yeah, I think it was like April was our first upload to YouTube.
Yeah,
I think April was our first upload to YouTube.
Could be.
So,
I'm
coming right up on a year though.
Anyways, it was nice to get out and do a little bit of shooting again. I said I was Sammy Malfunction because the notorious P80 struck again, and I actually shot fairly good today. Actually, my gun was working, I was shooting well, but
except for that 100-yard target got you that first time around. Second time around, you hit it.
Yeah, but it wasn't near as bad as the freaking couple times. The last time we shot?
That one time you fired 19 shots at it.
Yeah. So I placed last, but that shit's gonna happen. Oh well, I guess.
Yep.
So how'd you guys feel about shooting today?
I was happy to get out there.
It was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was nice. It was decently warm out.
Box didn't win, so that made me feel pretty good.
I beat you
by a fucking half a second, so eat a dick.
Hey,
Winning's
ask
winning.
Vin Diesel. Winning is winning, Toad. Winning is winning.
Yeah.
I'm not going to ask Vin Diesel anything, because he's a horrible actor, and I don't like him.
He might be a horrible actor, but he's made a buttload of money in movies off his acting, so
That's true.
Must not
more
be that
power
bad.
to him.
Yeah.
I would actually like the guy if he quit making Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah.
It drives me insane. What, Fast and Furious 9 is coming out? And all of a sudden he has a brother and it's John fucking Cena. It's like, boy, you can really see the family resemblance there.
Actually, there's way more than 9. I think they're on like 13 or 14 total Fast and Furiouses.
Well, yeah, they had Rock did a spin-off with Jason Statham and whatnot, but
Right, but there's like Tokyo Drift and all that other bullshit.
I'm pretty
Those are
sure they're
included.
included in there, bud.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why
This-
there's like
the
13
one-
or 14.
No,
No, we're saying they're included in, like, 1 was the original one, then Tokyo Drift, or 2 Fast, 2 Furious, then Tokyo Drift, then it went like 4 or 5.
I know,
Fast
but I'm
Five.
saying there's a total of like 13.
No, there's not.
Fast and you want to bet me?
Yes.
What do we want to
This
bet
is
on
so-
this?
this is
What do
so
we want to
dumb.
bet on this?
I'll bet you a hand job. I don't know what you want me to say.
How many Fast and the Furious? Okay, no, that picked up the hand job.
A Fast and Furious hand job?
How many Fast and Furious movies are there?
How many
13.
Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious
Huh.
includes the Fast and the Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious.
great. Now it's
the
gonna read
turbocharged
all of them.
prelude for Too Fast,
Yeah,
Too Furious.
see? Fuck you guys. I win. Both of you.
What did she say
Fuck
about
you.
the prelude for Too Fast, Too Furious? Is this like including cartoons that they've made?
No, that was all the Fast and the Furious movies.
I don't believe it.
You guys just
Johnson,
lost.
I believe you host him a hand job.
Hey, as long as it's Fast and Furious.
I didn't bet anything.
Well, this episode got real weird
You're
real
not
quick.
getting any lube with that there, bud.
You goofy sons of bitches. Now I lost my train of thought.
I hope you're chafed. When
So
we're
anyways. God. So this is a real shit
Chafed
show.
when we're done.
Anyways, we just got back to Shyworks headquarters and did a little bit of grilling. Did some chicken wangs and some deer backstrap, and then some cheese dip, of course. But then it was so freaking gorgeous out. We couldn't pass it up. It was a pretty good time out there. So
Los Bandoleros.
what are we talking about?
That's the Spanish
Yeah.
version.
So there's 13 because they include the turbocharged prelude for Tokyo Drift, the Bandoleros.
I don't care. There's still 13.
It's the same damn movie. They just dubbed it in Spanish.
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So the Fast and Furious 10 is the one that's coming out in 2021. So does that mean there's 13 movies?
4, 7.
Idiot.
Looks
You-
like you owe Johnson a hand
No,
job.
you're still fucking wrong. You said there was only 9, so fuck off.
There
Because
is
the-
only
the
9. The
ninth-
10th one hasn't come out
Yeah,
yet.
the ninth
Stupid.
one is literally coming out in
Oh,
a couple of
whatever.
days.
Whatever.
God.
Get to jacking.
No.
Can the microphones pick this up?
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay, you goofy fuckers. Can we tone it down? And it's early in the episode still.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, if we really want to get things out of control, you want to go straight to Whiskey of the Week?
No, yeah. Well, I mean, it is that time. Have we covered what we're? what we
We've
wanted to
covered
cover?
literally nothing.
We covered
Absolutely nothing.
That's because
It
these two are
speaks.
over here just
God
like
damn it.
freaking out of control.
Hey,
Sorry, guys. I can't curtail these two very easily.
Yeah, we're free spirits. What can we say?
Anyways, I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit about Vegas too. Our Vegas trip.
yeah.
We covered that a little bit in the last bonus content episode, but
Yeah, I got molested in a $70 million strip club.
all
right.
I don't know if it counts when you pay for it, Toad.
Yeah, I was just going to say
Definitely,
that.
Yeah, I don't
definitely
think
does
you can
not count.
call it molestation at that point.
But it was a good time. I wish that we're gonna go back every year now, but I wish that Vegas really doesn't do it for me anymore. I mean, I wish it was like in Nashville or something like that.
Yeah, I wish it
You
was somewhere
just
where the
like
beer was
Nashville because
cheaper.
one time you were there, you saw a bunch of hot women.
And he was there for like 20 minutes.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, I wish it was in a different town. Vegas is just turned into this freaking.
Really expensive shithole.
Well, yeah, but it's just I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me anymore. But the actual SHOT Show, that was freaking awesome. We'll be back there every year just because of it was well worth it, business wise for the contacts and all of that type of shit. So,
Boy, I know next year though, I'm gonna be like packing my lunch in my backpack.
mm-hmm.
Christ, was that expensive to eat there? A shitty, horrible tasting cardboard sandwich, a can of pop, a bottle of water, and a bag of like tiny chips was literally like $23.
Yep.
Yeah,
What?
it was not cheap.
You guys
But,
were like, I don't know why you don't want to go to Vegas.
well, if you go to the old strip, it's cheap. Beer's cheap.
I wouldn't say it's
Hell, it
cheap.
was.
Everyone said that, but no, it's not
Yeah.
cheap.
That's
Remember-
because you guys insisted on sitting at that freaking crazy expensive bar.
No, that wasn't
What are you
us.
talking about?
That bar was the expensive part. If you go to the rest of the strip, the beers are a hell of a
What
lot
bar?
cheaper. That rotating one.
That's
wasn't-
where we were.
that
I
wasn't-
know. That's the expensive part. If you
Yeah,
go to the rest
that
of the
wasn't-
strip.
I don't know if you realized it, but Box and I didn't sit at that for almost the entire time.
I was on the rest of the strip when we were buying beers, and the beers were fairly cheap. I only paid
How
like
much
$4 or
is-
$5 for Coronas.
Oof.
I think it was $5.
It's
Yeah, still. I mean, and that's
The
not,
first beer I bought was like $13.
Yeah, and then
Woof.
I
I'd
got
had-
a
I mean,
Captain
it was a
Morgan.
rather large beer, but it wasn't.
So then I got a Captain
cheap.
Morgan Diet Coke, and it was fucking $15.
yeah. I bought 3 or 4 Coronas at the casino. In that casino,
Mm-hmm.
they were like $4 a piece.
That's not bad.
What
$4.
casinos?
I mean, it's still
In the
expensive,
in the
but
original
it's
place
not-
we were when we ate those crab legs and stuff at that buffet.
That place.
That casino, wherever that was, the Fremont Hotel or whatever the hell it was.
What did they do to you?
He was getting real irritated with me because I just kept going back and getting more and more and more crab legs.
No,
And
I
he's like-
didn't care about that.
He's
It
like,
was-
how much of those are you going to eat? I'm like, well, I paid $25. I'm going to eat at least 7 pounds.
right?
when we were going there, I was under the impression that it was like a $10 all you can eat buffet, and we pull in, they're like, okay, $30. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. And then she's
Yeah,
like,
it
25.
says
And then
all
it
you
w-
can eat $9.99 on
It
the
wasn't
sign.
good at all. And then you'd have to go and sit down, and like they had already charged your card at the beginning, like when you got your table, and then they came and took your drink order after you were sitting down, and they'd have to take your card again. We waited like 20 minutes for him to get Sam's card, at least.
Yeah, I probably would have.
So, anyways, basically, you
Lost
guys,
my shit at
you
that
two
point.
apparently hated Vegas because you've just been bitching about
No.
it for the last
No,
10
I had a
minutes.
good
So.
time.
You were the one who
Yeah,
brought it
you-
up. How
you
you didn't
totally
like
started
it. You would
off on
rather
bitching
go
about
to
Vegas.
a different city.
I actually the SHOT Show trip is a riot. I just wish that it was in it because Vegas doesn't really do it for me anymore. But you know,
Yeah, I mean, I had a good time. It was fun. The weather was awesome. Hoover Dam was great.
Mhm.
We didn't tell you about this, but I was going to get a tattoo while we were out there, and we were going to live stream it. And I was just going to get LSLF.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much they wanted for 4 little letters?
$200.
300. Sam and I went up to the
yeah,
tattoo
because I was
parlor
gonna
on
pay. I
Freeways.
was gonna split it with him. I was gonna pay half,
That's stupid.
and they wanted a.
Go over to the city here. You get that for $60.
I know. That's what I told the guys, like, Jesus, I got 2 giant tattoos on each arm, and neither one were over $100, and they're pretty good.
All right.
Toad, Box? What was your whole experience? You never been to Vegas. You never flew. What was the whole experience like for you?
Yeah, how was the flight aspect of it?
It wasn't bad.
No?
We're flying out there, and me and James are sitting on this side of the aisle, and Box and Sam are over here, and James is just always like,
Every time, like, there was a lot of
Looking at
turbulence, and every single time we'd hit turbulence, I'd look over and James would be staring at me with a shit-eating grin on his face, just waiting for me to
come on, throw
break
up,
down.
throw up.
Yeah.
No, the flight thing I think was more of a
Mental game.
no. It was just because it was mostly because it was the first time I had done it. I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
laying there in bed at night like a year ago, I'd freak out and be like, "Oh God, I don't want to fly. I don't want to do it ever. I don't
Yeah.
need to ever do it." But then the closer it got, the easier it got, and then I got on the plane, and then we started going, and whatever.
So, what'd you think about Vegas?
I liked it. I mean, Fremont Street was cool. I liked it. I'd hang out there other than the...
Yeah, I'd rather go down to Fremont than the actual like strip with the Venetian and whatnot. But
Yeah, the new strip's just too. That's completely outlandish prices and shit. It's just, they're gearing it towards the high rollers anymore, and it's like, why? I mean,
Well, I mean, if you think about it, they've built these giant casinos and giant hotels over the last how many years? 60 years?
Yeah.
So the city has blown up from nothing to this giant oasis in the desert.
Yeah.
They don't build that shit for free.
Yeah, but I was there 9 years ago, and drinks were $2-3. I mean,
Right.
and if you were most of the casinos in the whole town, if you were playing slots, you got free drinks,
Mm-hmm.
and they were still making money hand over fist. Now they're
Right.
just getting greedy. That's my thoughts on it. But
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm also
Look
from a
at-
small
look
town
at the
where
cost
beers are
of-
$2.
look at the cost of everything else from 10 years ago till now. Everything's gone up somewhat. So,
Yeah, I know. I just think,
so I mean,
like it's
they're
just
just
outlandish.
they're just
it's
playing
just
it.
outlandish.
Yeah.
I think, but I don't know. Whatever. It was a good time, though.
I'm not. I still don't have any desire to go. Never been. Still don't have any desire to go.
You said you were going next year.
To SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Then you're just
I'm
going to hang out at the house when we're not at SHOT Show.
Mm-hmm.
You guys go have fun. I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Get hookers delivered to the house is what you're going to do.
Shut up. God. My wife listens to these.
Hey, I have the phone
Of
number
the
for a
week.
Swedish stripper.
Good.
So, yeah, I guess we're going to do a
Whiskey
little
of the
whiskey.
week for this week. I grabbed one from home that,
It's been drank.
yeah, it's been drank out of a little bit. This is Buffalo Trace, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. I have heard a lot of people say that Buffalo Trace is one of their favorites. And I would tend to agree with that. It's probably one of my favorites that I've had that's like a regular whiskey that's not at over $50 a bottle, as far as like a regular drinker that you could, have a glass of every day. I think this was rather inexpensive, like $30 or $35. But yeah, let's give it a try.
Check. Ooh, it's even got one. It's even got one of the fun tops. All right.
I'll let you pour your own because I don't know if you are gonna go.
You just pour it, you wanker. We already actually. I think I had a sip of this already, but yeah. Clear out the nostrils. The nostrils.
I'll pour my own.
Yeah. So it's got a decent. I mean, it smells like whiskey. It smells just like any other. There's nothing special to the smell of it. Looks nice. It's pretty. It's fairly dark for whiskey.
Looks nice.
It smells
it's
like
got a rich.
paint there.
It's got a rich, dark flavor or color to it. I like it. I like that. Well, let's give her a snort.
I wouldn't recommend snorting it.
No, that'll burn real bad if you actually snort.
Wow,
it.
that's actually really smooth.
That wasn't smooth for me.
That was really smooth for me.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of burn to it.
No,
I thought it was pretty smooth.
yep.
Oh, sorry guys.
I don't know. I'm a fan of it, but
It's not bad. It just got me a little bit.
Did your leg shake?
it
No.
twitched. It didn't shake. It twitched.
My gag reflex was on the edge of triggering, but that's just because I can't drink whiskey because I'm a little bitch.
How was the second taste box?
I don't know. I'm not.
I like it.
I don't think I'm a huge fan.
I like it. I don't know where to rate it. See, now we're getting to
Good,
the point
here's
where we've
some
got so
more.
many.
I don't think Johnson
You
or
will drink it and
Toad
you'll like it.
tried Slipknot.
Mm-mm.
No.
I have not tried Slipknot.
Have not either.
Boy, I don't know.
I wouldn't put it on the podium.
Really?
No.
I'm gonna say it's got to take the number.
The number
3
nine was really good. You
This
haven't even
smells
tried
better.
it yet.
I can say that this smells
I
better.
meant number.
That shit's
I meant number
delicious.
2 because I hate Maker's Mark.
Well,
Smell that. That one smells real good.
it is really good.
Yeah.
Toad will hate it though because he's Toad.
Oh, it tastes like whiskey. I really want to get some Lagavulin.
What's Lagavulin?
That's pretty good.
Is that?
Hmm I like that better than Buffalo Trace.
Lagavulin is
It's a
Ron Swanson's favorite. It's a Scotch whiskey.
Is it the fake character Ron Swanson or the actor's favorite?
It's the actor's favorite and the director of the show. It's both of their actual favorites.
Yes, and he is my spirit animal.
Yeah. Meat and
whiskey. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna. I don't know how we're
expensive though too. It comes in one of those fancy cardboard boxes, and I've looked at it before.
It is kind of pricey. But...
Sam's Club's got a bottle of it. It's an older bottle. It's like $200-300.
I don't know how we're gonna.
That's hands down better than Buffalo Trace.
I don't know how we're gonna rate this shit when we get because we got 3 solid ones on the platform. How are we gonna
podium?
I think number 9
how
needs
are we gonna,
to move to the number 2 spot. Buffalo Trace needs to move to number 3, and fucking Maker's Mark can get the hell out of here and go in the trash can.
We can't kick the number 2 out.
No, no.
Maker's Mark is horrible. How did you guys even let? How did that get
you
to
weren't,
number 2?
You weren't here, so
I bartended an entire wedding in California with that shit last year. And it's terrible.
You were missing
I don't care.
from that
You were in
episode, so your
California.
vote
They don't
didn't
know
count.
what the hell they're talking about. They're Californians. They have no effing idea.
It was actually
Maker's Mark.
Yeah, but it was pretty good. But so apparently Buffalo Trace is not going to make the platform, but I think it's pretty darn good.
I really think it's good, and I think it's something that I would be like if I was a daily drinker of a glass of whiskey, I would be okay drinking this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's definitely
I'm kind of surprised
solid.
that Slipknot number 9. That can't be aged all that long.
No,
I don't know.
It's good though.
Yeah.
And it's made in Iowa, so we got that going for us. We should go and do a tour.
Was that one of the bottles Wade got us?
No,
Miles. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he got us that, and
thanks, Miles.
Eagle Rare.
That Eagle Rare, I really like that. I'm kind of pissed it's not sitting up there.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It must be frustrating, huh, Toad? You're kind of the outlier on all these.
Yeah, I know.
Well, 90% of the whiskeys of the week, he's like, this fucking sucks.
Right.
And then the ones he does like, which
it's not the Irish stuff I brought, so it blows the
much.
house.
It's because the Irish don't know how to do whiskey right.
Yeah, I disagree with that. But
What? They make it extremely high test and tastes like shit, but it still gets you fucked up?
Yes.
it's like,
I'll bring some of my whiskey in.
love a good paint thinner.
I already did that, didn't I?
Yeah.
Your moonshine shit?
We're going to call it whiskey now.
Yeah, it was horrible. I do not want to take any more of it. It was not that good.
I used it to burn my trash the one day.
Yeah, that's where you dump the rest of your flask out, because even you wouldn't drink the garbage.
Yeah, it's 187 proof.
Yeah.
So, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you heard about the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant and what was it, 8 other people?
There's 9 total.
Yeah. Which whenever something like that happens, because Kobe was like I'll be straight honest with you, I was never a Kobe fan. My buddy Jordan was a massive Kobe fan. He just absolutely loved him, but I was never real keen on him. But he was a hell of a player. He made a huge impact on the game, and he was one of the biggest stars out there as far as the NBA goes.
I would say one of the biggest names. Him and Shaq were probably the 2 biggest names since Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think so. And I like him a hell of a lot more than I like LeBron.
Oh yeah,
he's a power douche, but anyway, so yeah, Kobe was involved. Him and his little girl were involved in a helicopter crash and passed away. That was about a week and a half ago now. So it's weird when something like that happens. Like it's like you don't know the person obviously at all, but still it's like it's strange to see such a big name, like somebody that you see all the time in the headlines and shit, and all of a sudden they're just gone like that. And I posted it on the Life Short Live Free wall just because, I mean, I felt it deserved that.
I mean, when somebody that's as popular as he was passed away, it's important. It really doesn't matter, whether it's a singer, TV star, football player, basketball player, anything like that. People get popular because they have an impact on people's lives, right?
Right.
And I saw a lot of good things, and people really respecting what had happened, and I saw a lot of shitty things about it too.
And before we dive into that end of it, one thing was TMZ was reporting on this almost immediately, and apparently, and I don't know if this is true, but I heard it was true, but I heard his wife found out through the friggin' headlines, rather than actually being notified by someone coming to their house. And if that is true, like, how freaking low do you have to stoop? How big of a piece of trash do you got to be to go and report that shit before, just to be for the sole reason of getting
about the almighty dollar?
Exactly. But
Everybody knows
how big of a
TMZ
piece of shit are you?
anyway? I mean,
yeah,
That's one thing I don't understand. Like, how much is in it for them for being the first to break the story rather than waiting a couple hours?
I'll tell you what, if you have
Because
like
that story there, it absolutely blew up. Everybody in the freaking world heard about it, and how many of those people heard it from TMZ?
I don't know.
Or
I don't understand EDR.
I don't
but-
get how it can
paparazzi
benefit
and
them
shit,
that much.
all the paparazzi and shit, when they take photos of like celebrities and stuff for like a controversial story, if they're breaking up with their significant other, their husband or wife or whatever, and they get a good photo of like the two arguing with each other, they can sell that picture to people for $50,000.
well, they
Right, but
I
how
mean,
does the
there's an-
headline? That box is saying, how does the headline?
you
make
just
TMZ
being the
No.
first to jump on it rather
get
than
clicks.
waiting a couple hours.
You get if you're the first to report on it, you get all the clicks from now. I report it now, and the next place doesn't report it for 2 hours. That's 2 hours worth of people clicking on my story, and I get more ad revenue for the more clicks I get on my stories.
Yeah, I suppose. But anyway, I
That's
don't see it as worth
unfortunately
it.
that's how they. I know, but that's if they could have made $80 extra on it, they'd have done it.
Oh yeah, they don't give a shit.
No.
So anyway, that was kind of it's too bad. I feel for his family, especially he had 4 daughters and one of them died with him. So his 2 left behind or 3 left behind and his wife. You really feel for them to see how it played out. Can you imagine turning on the TV and seeing your husband was in a helicopter crash? I mean, that'd just be, I can't imagine. I mean, it'd be horrible just hearing that anyways from a police officer. But so there was that aspect to it, and that was too bad. But then there was also so many people online. Like, obviously, we're not going to dive into this part of it, but Kobe had he made his mistakes in the past, and it just sickened me to see like so many people just
Be so hateful.
bringing up that one mistake that he made.
Well,
2
not
hours
even-
after he died, and it's like, I bet when you die, you'd really appreciate it if everybody brought up your mistakes the first thing.
Well, not even so much that I didn't see a whole lot, as much of that as the part that bothered me was everyone was like, well, who gives a shit? He's just another guy. And, there was so many other people that died from such and such last week.
Right.
They were like, well, why does it matter that he died? Well, he was somebody of importance. Like if you were a huge Gerard Butler fan and he died in a helicopter crash, you'd lose your mind. But since it's somebody you don't care about, like somebody that you're not a fan of, you don't care.
I think by the judging just from the way the world reacted, it's pretty clear that a lot of people gave a shit.
Right. And that's the
okay,
thing.
you didn't. Cool. Shut up and forget about it.
Right. That's the thing that bothers me, and that I've said many times in past podcasts and stuff, like people thinking their opinion matters online just because they can post their opinion. And I don't know. It just bugs me because
How does a motherfucker?
But yeah, people feeling the need to spew their negativity everywhere. It's irritating because it's like he was a person of importance. It's not like he was just some random guy in the news is going crazy that he's passed away. Like, the reason this is all over the news is because he was someone of importance. He was, an influencer to society.
When was the last time? Like, I don't remember the last time that news of someone's death was this big.
Probably Princess Diana, honestly.
No, there's been since then. I can't.
I don't know.
I bet Prince was probably comparable, but I don't think not anywhere
not
close.
Anywhere close.
It was comparable because of where we're at, but
right. Yeah.
I think it was more to do a lot too with the manner in which he died.
In an accident like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean that would be like the who died in Clear Lake, Buddy Holly, Richie Valens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of shocked the nation too. They all died in a plane crash. So I think, you know, had he just passed in his sleep, you know, or something like that, that'd have been sad, but I don't think it would have been quite the reaction that it was.
You're probably right.
Well, and that's always true. When somebody like that passed away in any kind of accident, it's always, you know, because it's a lot more of a shock. It's like when famous actors and stuff get, you know, sick with cancer or something and they battle with something for a while and then they pass away. But he's like, oh, it's sad. But that, you know, nobody's really shocked. So it's not like a huge headline.
Yeah.
Whereas when there's an accident like that. And that's why I say I would compare it to like when Princess Diana passed away, because it was just such a freak accident that nobody
that was back in the
freaking
90s, wasn't it? There's
90s.
been I can't think off the top of my head, but I bet I'm comparing this to Kobe, I guess. I don't remember the Princess Diana thing because I was a kid back then, and
I do. I remember my mom bawling her eyes out in the living room.
I'm way younger than you.
Yeah, but we didn't have a TV growing up, so that shit I probably didn't barely hear anything about the Princess Diana because back in the 90s I was in junior high, didn't give a shit, didn't have the TV, you know, so why would I have heard anything about it?
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to compare that, I guess, but and to be real honest with you, like I said, I was never a huge Kobe fan. In fact, I fought with gave my buddy shit about it many times. He was a massive Kobe fan. I remember one time we were down in Ames, in some of the college bars, and we had a drinking game going. I think it was the playoffs, and we had a drinking game going. Every single time that Jordan said Kobe, we had to drink. And if you guys box Toad, you know when you drink with Jordan and he gets a little intoxicated, he will freaking go on and on.
Subject.
Yeah, exactly. And it was Kobe that night, and boy, we were hammered by the end of that. So, but the guy died, and I have respect for him. I think he might have made his mistakes, but he made peace with God, and he turned his life around, and he did some good for this world. So I'll commend you for that. And there's no way that I'm gonna.
And he was never a. I don't think he was ever a bad influence on young kids as far as like the sport of basketball and stuff like that. He was never super cocky and a real big dickhead on the court or anything. He was always very respectable.
Yeah, and you know what? There was years there when the Lakers couldn't put together a good season to save their life, and he stayed with them. And that's one thing I'll respect. LeBron, I hate that guy for the simple fact that he does nothing but chase championships and he'll sell out any team for anything, know. And Kobe stayed with the same team, so that was kind of neat. Too bad. But
another big headline that has been wild lately has been the coronavirus. It sounds to me like it's Chinese flu. Like I've heard it the Kung flu a couple of times.
Well, I had to.
Did you see the? They said it's this like new virus and whatever, but the Lysol cans actually say they'll kill it.
Really?
I've seen it a couple times. I guess I haven't looked for myself because I don't own a can of Lysol, but it says human coronavirus on it.
No, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well,
I'm confused about the whole coronavirus thing because I didn't know what the hell it was. I'm not gonna lie, and I googled it, and coronavirus isn't a sickness in itself. It's like a classification.
Right. It's like a
sickness. So I don't know what the coronavirus is. If it's one specific thing, because according to coronavirus, it's a whole lot of different things.
Right. I think it's like a genetic mutation of a certain virus. I don't know for sure, but I know they were...
Basically, it's a respiratory disease.
It sounded to
similar
me...
to SARS. Shit like that,
Yeah. And I know... I don't know, they're calling it like this crazy pandemic and people are getting quarantined and all this shit, but it's killed less people and a lower percentage of infected people than like the type A influenza does.
Yeah, but this is the people are freaking out about it because it's grown so fast. It's spread so fast. Yeah. And it's killed actually a pretty high rate of people. There's hundreds that it's killed now.
The last I checked it, like in the first, there was like 2,900 people infected, and it killed like 18.
Oh no, dude.
It's
we're
at
way up.
like it's in
So the
8,000s or something was the last
Here,
I
how
saw.
about we ask?
For infected or
Yeah,
killed?
infected, and then like
Oh, okay.
150. I
Hey,
think
let's
was what I
ask,
saw.
I thought
let's-
172 or something.
Yeah.
like that.
Let's ask Google here.
This was last.
How
week
many
when I
people have
checked,
the
but-
coronavirus killed? Oh, it fucked up, and I got this was how many people.
Maybe try.
How many
has.
people have the coronavirus killed? No, I got Petrie in the beginning of it.
Try has, not have. Like, it's a group of
English is hard.
It is.
Coronavirus. 2 hours ago, a man has died in the Philippines. The overall death toll has passed 300, and there's a complete quarantine on that Wuhan, the Chinese city where the whole thing began. They flew a bunch of Americans home from China.
Mm-hmm.
Which I feel like is a poor choice.
I think everybody.
Like,
thought that,
hey,
right?
everybody.
Hey, let's
yeah, but
fly
did they-
this. Let's fly this cargo plane full of infected people to America. That sounds
But
fantastic.
did they quarantine those people and test them all before they?
Before and after, yes, but still, I mean, the whole thing. Can you imagine being that pilot? Hey,
That's-
Steve, you got duty to fly all these
Right.
people back.
Well,
Oh,
that's
shit.
funny because my wife's uncle just came back from the Philippines, and somebody had made a comment on, "Are you worried about the coronavirus?" You know, on one of like his Facebook posts, like finally headed home, and we were all like laughing, like, that's China, not the Philippines. You know, idiot. And here it is, somebody just died in the Philippines from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even like, I mean, say you happen to be on the same plane that somebody happened to be sitting
Right,
on, you know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and there's been several cases in the States now. I think they're up to 5 or 10. But there was one in Illinois and one in Arizona. And I was looking like where in Arizona, because we flew through Phoenix. I'm like, you know, hey, did we get real unlucky and grab the same freaking, you know, water fountain as them or some
Yeah.
shit?
When I went back to work, well, when we got back from SHOT Show, I got the flu or whatever, and I spent.
You got the SHOT Show crud.
Yeah, it kicked my ass. I didn't go to work on Monday. Then I went in on Tuesday and left early on Tuesday again. And as I was leaving, my boss was like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm going home. And he's like, oh, you got the coronavirus or something? And I just joked around, and I'm like, oh, well, there was a lot of Asians there in Vegas. And he kind of got this real concerned look on his face. So you got all sorts of serious after that. I was like, I'm pretty sure I don't have the coronavirus, dude. I'm going home. It's just
Probably
a flu.
safe bet.
Right. I did hear a lot of people talking about the possibility of the coronavirus being at SHOT Show just because of all the Asian tourists that are in Las Vegas regularly, that it
There was
could be a...
There was a ton of foreigners at SHOT Show too. I mean, there's a lot of people speaking foreign languages there.
Yeah, I met
a lot of Italians, a lot of
Russians,
I don't know what.
Australians.
A lot of people speaking languages I did not know.
You know, I'm all good with that, but it's like the Chinese knockoff manufacturers getting into shows like that really bugs me.
The Chinesium.
Like that's been a big issue. Like at SEMA, like all these Chinese manufacturers will come in and buy parts from American manufacturers and like bail back over to China and make their own castings of these parts and then sell them for half the price.
Yeah,
and
but there's
still label them as like a Holly intake manifold or whatever.
right.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the
Sorry, that was
the
totally
corona. Speaking of the
coronavirus.
coronavirus, I had the coronavirus a few times when I was in Vegas. You know, wake up the next morning. I drank a lot of Corona when I was down there. That was
Everybody did.
That's a good.
That was weird.
That's a good vacation beer.
I didn't drink a single
It's
one.
not though.
Yeah, it is.
Like
delicious. I like it.
I had a Corona.
I love Corona.
I've only had, like, up till Las Vegas, I had only had a Corona a couple of times, and that was several years ago. And we got to Vegas.
I probably gave you a couple of Coronas, and
I don't know, maybe we got to Vegas, and everyone was drinking them, and I was thinking, oh well, maybe that was just a fluke several years ago. So
maybe
I'm
I just got
I'm
a
gonna
bad
have a
one.
Corona. So I popped open a Corona and threw a lime in it, and I was like, nope, that's still garbage.
You drank a lot of them.
No, I didn't. I had one.
Oh, really? I thought you drank.
No.
Yeah, we drank the shit
I
out
drank
of it.
mostly
enjoy it.
whiskey.
So I had 0.
But those other things that there was that Victoria and some other one.
Victoria's good. Pacifico?
No,
No.
it was some weird ass name.
Tecate?
No,
Toad, apparently you're
Soul?
not going to drink this.
No, you have
no, it was like a legit Mexican name that I'll never ever remember. But it was really good. Victoria was really good though, and I'd drink that because I tried the Victoria and I was like, ooh, this is really good. Maybe that's what got me thinking that maybe the Corona was a fluke. So I tried a Corona. I was like, nope, Victoria is just good.
Try Pacifico. Tecate.
Pacifico's good.
I've had Tecate. I had that when I went
That's
down to
good.
Mexico. That was pretty good.
Tecate.
So
Tecate, Victoria.
How'd you get to Mexico without flying?
We drove down there. We
I
stayed
don't
on
know
the
if you
border.
know this, but it's attached to the United States by land.
Well, I just...
That's why they're building a wall.
Yes, I knew that. I just assumed he flew down to like Cabo or something.
Nope.
So, anyways, you sons of bitches keep getting me off topic.
I
wanted to talk
you're
about-
shocked?
Hey,
I wanted to talk
I
about
plan on driving to Hawaii next month.
You can drive a boat there.
hovercraft, maybe.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about, being we were talking about this new virus. It's going to overtake the world, apparently. The World Health Organization has ruled it a global health emergency. But it's always interesting.
So
to
was
think
Ebola.
about.
Then like 4 people got it.
Yeah.
Oh, there was quite a few that died from
The
Ebola.
bird flu and swine flu and all that.
Right. But let's say it's always interesting to think about. This turns into a pandemic level global event. I love talking about this shit. It's
You
always,
just always want to come up with some way of everyone's going to die. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
That's like your favorite scenario. I love it.
yeah, absolutely. I
Makes
do.
me happy.
I do love that scenario.
It is-
But I think like
Basically, Shire just admitted the fact that he wants everyone but him to die.
right.
well, that's not what I said at all.
Downfall of the universe. I love this.
Whatever. What do you guys think like The Walking Dead is so popular for and shit like that? Because everybody loves that shit.
For the first season, I liked it.
It was good until about season 4, and then
Yeah.
it turned to trash. But say in China, they're like stacked on top of each other, and they're fucked. If something like this, something like this happens, because that entire city's quarantined. If you're in that
Right.
city, you're hosed. But like us out here, I doubt that shit would even say it turns into a global pandemic. I doubt that shit even reaches out here, to be real honest with you. We're in the middle of nowhere. We can grow our own food and all that shit and be perfectly fine. But say it did reach out here and it turns into you got freaking zombie type people walking around,
Coughing and sneezing everywhere.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. But it's always do you guys prep at all? Say something like this happened and you can't leave the freaking house. They say everybody's on lockdown, you can't leave the freaking house. How long can you stay in your house? Do you have food? Do you have water to
I'd make it a good
do.
week,
So I've got enough for a while.
depending on the time.
how long is a while?
Probably about 3 weeks, probably.
Yeah, but okay. Say that happens though, but is that 3 weeks by yourself? Because if something like this happens, you ain't staying by yourself. You're going to your girlfriend or your family.
That's true. So
And do they have anything?
3 days.
I've got enough water, and a couple years ago I bought some of that. I forget who was
Little
selling.
pellets.
No, it's like Mountain House.
Mm.
They had buckets of them on sale for like
Midway, probably.
$25-$30, and it's like
Mm-hmm.
each one's like a week. And I bought a bunch of those with Dad. So Dad's got some, and I
So
got some. And
What I found with those that are like, this is a week for 4 people, it's actually 3 days for 2 people.
yeah,
Well, yeah, but in
so
a
quarter
situation
it.
like that, when
So I've never
you'd
opened them,
ration
so-
it out. You'd ration it out, but
Yeah, you would have to ration it. You'd have to ration it pretty. You'd have to be pretty careful with it because what they say. I honestly, if you were to use that stuff for like normal, everyday usage, probably a quarter.
honestly, I'd probably be all right for quite a while because I have like 1,000 hogs on my farm,
Mhm.
and even when they run out of food, they're just gonna eat the ones that die.
Right.
So I'd have pork for months.
that's a good point. That's a
What
good
about
point.
until the owner stops by. He's like, "Hey,
I'm taking my pigs.
I'm
bitch.
getting my pigs out of here. You can
The
fuck
world's
off."
come to an end. It's every man for himself, Bucks.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think I could.
What do you got, Johnson?
I could probably go on indefinitely.
You got a lot of food.
You gonna
out
live
there?
on chickens?
I've got eggs because we got chickens, cattle.
Do you got enough food to? Yeah, how are you gonna feed the chickens though?
I don't know if you know this, Sam, but they can eat like grass. And
Okay, you got
bugs
cattle
and-
across the road.
Mhm.
Okay, it's interesting. I might come out to your place. You
I
got
could
a lot
probably
of-
go on indefinitely. I got a manual pump for my well, so I can pump well water
right.
manually without power. And
Box, how f***ed are you?
I'm pretty
Fair enough.
I truly think I could go on as long as I needed to. I think I can make it work out there. I'd
No, I've always wanted to.
Oh Jesus!
be a little more prepared.
Yeah, but I just never
Well, I'm a-
get around to it.
I'm a
I
bit-
don't, I don't even have really. I mean, I kind of have a get home bag, but I haven't even really got that to the point where I want it.
I keep
Yeah.
one in my truck all the time. It's usually, I mean, it's got quite a bit of shit in there, med pack and all that good stuff. If I'm anywhere in my truck, I can get my ass home. I'll guarantee you that right
Well,
now.
I'm pretty sure I can get home in my pickup.
If your truck
at
will
any
make it
point.
that
I just
far.
don't. Yeah, to me, if it's in my truck, it's pretty well useless. Because if my truck can't get me home, why do I need a bag?
Well, I'm saying it's in a backpack. So if your truck doesn't get you where you need to go, you strap that bitch on and you walk home. Because your wife and your kids are there, you're going to get home one way or the other.
Right.
That's why a go bag is a good idea.
I never get far enough from home that I would need a bag full of gear.
Really? You go
It's
to Sioux
not
City.
like- it's
Sioux
not like-
City's a long freaking way from your
I
house.
can
and
walk
you
there.
gotta walk.
I can walk home in less than a day.
Bullshit.
But to
Not in
get
this
home
way.
back-
People run marathons in under 4 hours. From my work to my home is less than a marathon.
How many miles is it?
26.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Right about a marathon. How
So
long?
you wouldn't want to have a bag with some med gear in it.
I have that in
Or
my
some
pickup. I have
water.
a first aid kit.
Yeah, I know, but you wouldn't want med gear or I don't know, protein bars or water or something in a bag that say your truck breaks down, no one's coming to help you.
Especially
You're not going to
like-
just throw that on your back and be like, "Oh, here we go."
I don't personally. I don't. As far as I get away from home, I don't see a personal need for it. No. I mean, would I want water? Yes. Am I going to be running and try and run a 4-hour marathon pace to get home? No. So am I really going to get that thirsty and need that protein bar that bad? No.
Okay, yeah, but you're
Yeah, but you
saying
might
this-
run into shit
you're
where
saying
you don't
this
know.
like you're in like the conditions are absolutely perfect. You're not going to run into any problems. I guarantee you.
No,
Actually, here's the deal. How much money is it going to take for me to pay you to drop your ass off at work and see if you can make it back home in a day? Because I bet you couldn't do
I
it.
guarantee I could make it back home in a day.
I bet you couldn't. And as a day is, and the day, remember, in a day, especially in weather like this, or in the winter time, is not that freaking long. Because if it gets dark,
I don't know if you know this, Sam, but a day's 24 hours regardless of the weather.
right? But if it gets dark out, and especially if you're in winter, you're not traveling at night
Why not?
because you got nothing.
I'm-
You
if
don't
I'm-
have a go bag. You don't have anything to cover up with you. You're gonna freeze your fingers off. You're gonna freeze your pecker off. You're gonna freeze your nose off.
Yeah, if I stop moving, if I keep going towards home, my metabolism will keep my body warm.
Boy, I
People
feel like,
still freeze to death when they're moving.
I understand that, but you're going to freeze to death a lot faster laying down in a ditch.
I
aren't you?
feel like you have a kind of a skewed view of like. I mean, I just don't think you could do it, especially without supplies.
You guys want to do this?
You can't run. You can't go 26 miles without water. You 100% can't.
Hey,
Oh,
do you guys want to go? Should we get a weekend
you
and we
can
all go out
walk.
to the woods with nothing but like a go bag?
100%. Yeah.
I am totally game.
I
Yeah.
knew you would be.
That'd be
Let's
awesome.
spring.
That's something
Let's-
I've wanted to do for a long time.
Let's do the shit out of it. I think it'd be fantabulous.
We'd go down to
Not like backpacking with tents and mattresses and shit like that. Just
I'm bringing my cot and
build
my-
your own shelter type shit. And
Yep.
I'm gonna
I'd
cart out my generator, bring my TV.
I just think, Johnson, you gotta because to say that a go bag is essentially useless for you is just
No, I'm not saying it's useless for me. I'm saying I don't feel that it's so important that I need to have it in my truck all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't either. I threw it in my truck and I forget about it, so it's just in there. You know.
So I actually have the perfect place for us to do that too.
So I know I talk a big game, but I've been interested in this type of shit for years and years. And I'm reading a whole series on this in the book, this particular series, there was an EMP above the states and knocked out all the power, and the whole series is, you know, them surviving. But it's interesting, like the shit that you don't actually think about the way that it would go. And like, so once you read, you know, and there's a lot of shit that you don't realize how it would go and how it would be. Like, say if there was if knocked out the power over the states, something like 90% of the population would be dead in the first year.
Oh yeah, I would believe that.
And all the scenarios that come with that.
My other thing though, like, I'm 99% sure I could get home in a day from work, and I know you say you can't go 26 miles without water, but you forget the fact that the Floyd River goes from my work to my home virtually within 6 miles.
Sure, but you also need sustenance.
Not in 24 hours, you don't.
When you're okay, Johnson, this is absolutely no offense whatsoever, you're a portly fella.
I got plenty.
You need freaking, yeah, but I'm just saying, I don't think you can do it.
A body can survive for like especially my fat ass body.
I'm not saying you
couldn't for 2 weeks.
I'm not saying you couldn't make it home. I'm saying you couldn't make it home
in a day
within the daylight, and once it gets to the dark, you're not freaking probably going to make it that far.
I'm pretty sure from sun up to sundown, I could get home from work.
Sun up to sundown. What time of year?
I don't care.
How much can we put on this? I will literally put money on this.
How much daylight is there in the shortest day of the year?
Not that much.
No, but how much? Okay, not that much. How much is that?
Toad?
Roughly 8 hours, I bet. 8-9 hours.
I don't know.
You're probably closer to 10. Because the sun comes up around, 8-ish? Goes down around 5-ish in the worst part of winter. So, say 9 hours. You think you can run a marathon in 9 hours?
In the shape I'm in, probably. In the garbage ass shape that I'm in, I'm pretty sure I could do it in 9 hours.
I don't
know if it counts as running a marathon.
No, it'd be a lot of walking and jogging.
Right, but I don't think you can make it in 9 hours. I honestly don't. I don't know as if I could, to tell you the truth. I think, because I don't know. I haven't.
There's a factor there that does make a
I
difference.
Have to get home to my family.
Yeah. It's in your head where you got adrenaline pumping, and it's not just, I'm out for a leisurely marathon walk.
My friends bet me $12 that I couldn't do this. Yeah.
On the other side of it is, like, say in a scenario like that, there's already people looking to capitalize off your
in that time frame. In that time frame, I don't think there
like
would.
You out there, somebody's gonna take advantage of that.
I'm just and that actually probably make it faster for me to get home. Because I have a pair of Yodis's shorts in my truck. So if I just put on Yodis's shorts, I could probably hitchhike home pretty quickly.
You'd think you'd be hitchhiking, but somebody'd be taking you to their sex dungeon and using you for the rest of the apocalypse.
No,
what if I'm carrying? Get in their car.
Yeah, I suppose.
So this is all in the event there's an EMP, right? And knocks out all the electronics vehicles and everything.
This is just
EMP, etc.
Apocalyptic event.
This really was just an event for Sam to try and tell me that I'm fat and can't run.
See,
that's the whole.
Essentially, yes.
I'd be screwed because I oftentimes work 70, 80 miles from home, so I'd have to steal a fucking horse or something,
Yeah. Or a car that's not fuel injected.
Horses aren't fuel injected either.
Yeah, but a car...
Not usually.
If all else fails, I can eat the horse.
The meth-fueled ones are.
A car with a carburetor can probably go a lot faster than a horse.
Yeah.
On meth.
Yeah. But...
So what's it... how does that work with the EMP deal?
Anything not shielded, it basically knocks it out. Circuit panel, circuit boards, all types of shit like that. Even some of the newer
electronic ignitions.
Yeah, even some of the newer cars, say they're carbureted, but they're controlled electronically. You know, the older ones obviously.
Right, like I'm saying, like a old car with a distributor and points.
You're fine. Because
does it f*** the DC battery, or does it?
No, it's basically a fine circuitry and shit like that. And there's shit like military has EMP shielded type of shit. You know, they build it.
Basically, they just shield their hardware in like lead panels.
Yeah, essentially.
So they can't get through lead. So
right, or you can shield your electronics in a Faraday cage. Like you know, say there's shit that you don't want. In the case of a EMP to go down, you just keep it inside a Faraday cage, and you're fine there. You know, there's ways to get around.
So Sam's resiting his house next year.
Gonna be an awful lot of copper mesh in that siding.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi.
I don't even think it has to be copper.
Sam, I can't get a signal inside your house. Oh yeah, I live in a Faraday cage.
The Wi-Fi signal really sucks ass in the house,
right? Well, isn't it? I don't even think it has to be copper, does it? It can be steel.
It's just any sort of
metallic.
Right. So while we were out at SHOT Show, we talked to CMMG, and they came out with a new 5.7 millimeter or 5.7 by 28 AR upper end magazine.
Well, the upper come out last year.
Yeah, it's been out a little while.
Okay.
Well, the reason this whole 5.7 craze came back is because the 5.7 Ruger. That was the biggest thing. So Johnson's not a fan of 5.7 at all. He thinks it's stupid.
I'm not a fan, but I'm not like, I don't know why anybody would buy that. It's freaking ridiculous and stupid.
I think I might have heard you say those exact words.
You literally said that in a text message.
No, I didn't. I said it does. I don't see what the big deal is with it. All the big hubbub about it.
Because everybody and their mom has wanted an FN 5.7 for years and years, but they're so damn expensive, nobody could justify buying one. And now that Rugers came out with an affordable one, everybody's like, hell yeah.
I know, and I understand, like, there's, like the P90. Okay. Yeah, it's a cool firearm, but, like, the round isn't... It's basically a 22 mag.
No. It shoots faster than a 22 mag.
Barely.
Bigger bullet.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's like 40 grain bullet. It's the same as a 22 mag.
Is it?
Yeah.
Interesting. Definitely shoots a lot faster, especially out of a 16.
Not that much faster.
Actually,
it really depends on the grain of the bullet with that.
Right.
The heavier ones are very slow.
Plus, you get but there's all sorts of badass ammo for it. You get ballistic tips. You
right,
get armor
I understand
piercing,
that. I understand.
Whereas with a 22 mag, you don't get any of that goodies.
Right, but all of it is pretty expensive. And you can say it's going to get cheaper because so many more people are going to buy it. Well, I'll believe that when I see it. If it's that popular and they're still selling it at this price, why the hell would they lower the price? They're like,
more ammo. Most ammo manufacturers are not making it.
Right.
They're going to see a need and jump into it. They're going to sell it for cheaper than the other guy. Guarantee it. That's supply and demand, man. Capitalism 101.
I understand that, but it's not going to come down to 22 mag prices. It's not going to come down to 9mm
No, but 22
prices.
mag is a friggin' rimfire that's not reliable in any way, shape, or form. There's no way in hell that I would ever even think about using a rimfire cartridge for self-defense.
I wouldn't use 5.7 for self-defense either when I can buy 9mm cheaper.
Yeah, but there's certain instances and certain people that it's a lot lower recoil and you get extremely high capacity with it.
Well, I mean, if you got a really limp wrist and
it's got its place.
If you got a really limp wrist and really bad aim, I need to shoot 26 times and I'm really scared of it jumping on me. Then a 5.7 be a good option for you.
Yeah, I mean, there is. You got to admit that there is a place for it.
Not for anybody.
The range.
I know. No. There's even some freaking...
And for me on the range...
What can the 5.7 do that any other existing caliber cannot?
Exactly.
Boy,
Nothing.
The look on your face when you asked that question was almost scary.
And it actually does a lot of
Very
things...
serious stuff.
It actually does a lot of things way worse than a lot cheaper and more readily available cartridges can do.
Well...
Like Sam said earlier, he's a guy for gimmicks, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
I wouldn't say 5.7 is a gimmick.
I just don't see... I don't see why it is so popular. I mean, obviously somebody marketed well, right?
No, I don't think there's any marketing involved. Like I said, everybody has wanted the FN 5.7 because it's a cool gun. And now that Ruger's came out with the 5.7,
They want it because they hear is a rifle round and a pistol, and it holds a lot.
And it's not a rifle.
They don't
round.
know. They don't know the ballistics
it's
or
a
anything.
bottleneck. And everybody views that as a
Oh yeah.
So
as
is
a
a
rifle round,
7.62 by 25.
which
Right.
don't
Tokarev.
fucking exist in the American marketplace very much. So
They're all over the place. You can get them cheaper than shit.
it's not a popular caliber or a popular
Should
gun.
It is. It's a lot more popular than you think.
Does it have better ballistics than the 5.7?
Probably. It's a lot closer to 9 mil. It's actually a lot closer to 357 SIG.
Yeah.
7.62 by 25 Tokarev.
Hmm.
That's a badass round, actually. But
All right.
anyways, I don't know. I just don't see why the 5.7 got so popular. It doesn't do self-defense ammo. I mean, it's not as good as self-defense ammo as 9mm, and it's way more expensive
Because
for
it's
a range
not
toy
in the
than
9mm
22
class.
mag.
You keep comparing it to a 9mm, and that's not what
why
it's
it's
for.
a
and that's
handgun
not what it's-
cartridge.
But it's not
You
a 9mm.
keep saying it wants
That's
to be.
not the-
You keep saying it should be. It's got its place, and the people who want to use it for self-defense ammo. Well, what's the most popular self-defense cartridge? 9mm.
I didn't say that people should choose that over 9mm.
No, but you're saying there is people and situations that would use it, that it would be beneficial to use that over 9mm for self-defense.
Yeah.
And I don't see that.
Mm.
It underperforms 9mm in almost in my opinion, every category.
Well,
Ballistically. So why carry 5.7 over 9?
say you want a much higher capacity with a low recoil. Say you're a female. Say you want the lower recoil.
Okay. Carry a bigger gun.
Why, when you can carry that size gun with much higher capacity?
Because the bullet is actually going to kill the guy you're trying to kill.
Time out. To say that a ballistic round is not going to incapacitate somebody is. I think that's ludicrous. A 5.7. Sorry, but a 5.7 is gonna actually. Toad, maybe you could contribute to the conversation. You wouldn't be falling asleep over there, huh?
I
How's
have
that sound?
nothing to contribute. You guys have covered everything, and I'm tired of listening to you go back and forth.
Good input, thanks.
I don't know. It's pretty easy to see in a lot of scenarios where a pistol is not going to kill somebody immediately. You put 3 of them in the chest, they don't go down, they don't die. That's not. People get shot 5, 6, 8 times in the chest and they keep coming. And that's with a 9mm.
People on meth.
People on meth are a real thing, though.
Yeah, and that's
Right.
a serious threat to police officers and other people.
So that's exactly my point. That's exactly my point.
So why would you want a less effective round?
Why would you rather have, say you put 4 in the chest and they keep coming? So now say you're driving.
now I
say
put
you're
26 in there.
You're rocking a Glock 20, a Glock 43. You already put 4 in them. You have 2 left. Let's say you didn't put 1 in the chamber. So now you have 2 left.
Mm-hmm.
You're rocking a 5.7. You got frickin' 16 more to put in.
Okay,
there.
so here's the thing: is how many foot-pounds of energy does that 40 grain bullet out of a 5.7 put into that guy at 7 yards?
I don't know. I didn't.
Okay, so say it's 400 foot-pounds for each shot, right? So you put 20 of those in there, you got 8,000 foot-pounds, or you can have 800 foot-pounds per shot out of a 9mm. So it takes half the amount of shots out of a 9mm to put the same amount of energy into, because realistically that's all it is a transfer of energy.
Yeah.
So the more energy I can put into that person, if I'm carrying a Glock 19, which is one of the most common concealed carry pistols in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
I got 15 rounds of 9mm versus 25 rounds of 5.7.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Glock 19 and 9mm every single time.
Sure. All I'm saying is I think it's just like anything, why is there so many calibers out there? Because people like options, and there's different things for different strokes for
I
different
understand
folks.
that, but not every caliber or every cartridge gets the publicity and shit that that the 5.7 has got over the last 6 months.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You guys know me. I will always freaking defend this new shit and this new type of stuff. So
I'm not saying that it's wrong that it's come out. I just don't. I mean, and it's not new. It's been around
for a long, long time.
But the resurgence, I just haven't understood why it's getting such a popular resurgence and why it's becoming so popular.
Totally.
Because I'll
turn the heat down. Jesus Christ. It's not even on. Barely.
It is like 243 degrees in here.
While you're over there, why don't you grab me a beer, Toad?
It's pretty hot, Sam.
But yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen why it's. I guess I just don't understand why it's so popular. Because to me,
it's the hottest new thing, Johnson.
Yeah,
that's
I said, it's all marketing.
It's all marketing.
I don't care either. I'll take a real beer.
Because I don't know. To me, I can shoot, if I want that kind of deal, I can shoot a PMR 30 with 22 mag real cheap on the range.
Thank you.
With a malfunction every other shot.
Yeah.
Hey, that was because I hadn't cleaned it in a while.
Yeah.
What about all the other PMR 30s though?
Right, and I will not argue that it will be more reliable than 22 mag. But to me, if I can shoot for half the cost of 5.7 with a PMR 30 and 22 mag for a range toy, I don't know. I might go one way. I might have trouble deciding at that point. But as far as a concealed carry, there's no way I'd get one.
Well, even if I buy one, which I'm debating it, but there's no way I'm not ever going to use it as concealed carry. It's just going to be a toy, which is half the freaking guns I own anyway. So
yeah, and
it is what it is.
I would agree with that. There's nothing wrong with having multiple calibers and having like you said, people like options. I don't have any problem with that. I just don't like how people defend this 5.7 and it's the new hottest thing and it's badass and it's armor piercing and this rifle round and a pistol. That's all a load of shit. That's just marketing. Yeah. It really doesn't perform that well. It's not that good.
What are you gonna do? Toad, are you about ready to do your
why yes.
Your little whatchamacallit?
Segment.
Take a look, it's in a book. Time traveling with Toad. With Toad.
What a glorious segment there. What do you got for us today there, Toady?
Oh, we are going back to the 1800s, my friend. 1872 to be precise, and I want to run this by you guys. So this gun was designed by a fella named William Mason along with another fella named Charles Binkerhoff Richards.
Binkerhoff.
Richards. That's like dicks.
I had this all wrong in my head, so I always thought Sam Colt designed this gun. He did not. So this is the Colt Single Action Army, arguably one of the greatest pistols ever designed. Originally in service from 1873 to 1892, there was 3 different variations of it. 1873 to 1941, they didn't change a whole lot. It saw service all the way up to World War II, 1956 to 1974, and then 1976 to present. So it came in a variety of calibers: the 45 Colt, 4440 WCF, which I have no experience with, the 3840 WCF, same thing, 3220 WCF, 38 Colt, and 22 long rifle, 38 special, 45 ACP, 357 Magnum, 44 special. It was a single action revolver, 6-shot cylinder. I don't talk good. It's just a famous piece of Americana, and where did I put that? So these are all the wars this gun was used in. American Indian Wars, Spanish-American War, Philippine-American War, which I didn't even know was a thing, Mexican Revolution, Second Boer War, which was in Africa, Irish War of Independence, woohoo! Turns out they failed, World War I, World War II, and the Indonesian Revolution. So what's cool about this gun, and one of the reasons I picked it, was because I got to see an original one here recently. My boss, his dad, was the head of the U.S. Marshals when he retired, and he had one, and he gave it to Greg, and it's in a glass box. I didn't get to handle it, but it's from 1889, I think, or something like that. They dated it back to. And it's a really cool thing. But it's like the iconic cowboy gun. I mean, when you think cowboy gun, you might not know what it is, but you're thinking of the Colt Peacemaker.
Right.
I mean, everybody had one of these back in the day.
Everybody may not know exactly what it is, but when they think revolver or they think Wild West gun, like that's what you're thinking of.
That's it right there.
Yeah.
I mean,
that is the quintessential revolver.
Yeah. And there was a saying that went along kind of after this gun came out, and it was God made man, but Sam Colt made him equal.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, if you really think about it, Cain killed Abel with a rock. So, I mean, it didn't take a gun, but...
Interesting.
Yeah. It is... I'd really like to have even just like a cheap knockoff.
Actually,
so like I'd like to have one. Just
like
a 45 Colt.
Yeah, and Fleet Farm has them on sale all the time for like $4.99 or no, what was it, $3.99? Uberti Cattleman revolvers.
Yeah, Uberti, yeah.
And I kind of want to get one. My boss picked one up and he likes it, but.
Box, you about ready for your segment?
That is the baddest son of a bitch I have ever seen ever.
Yeah, it's the baddest dude of the week.
Yeah.
So before I get started, I just want to point out, guys, that it's becoming increasingly harder to find badasses, like decent stories.
Right.
Like, yeah, you can go on Google and type out badass military badasses throughout history and find stuff, but
you generally get the same list of 10 guys.
Yes, it's growing harder and harder. So any of you guys out there that may know of awesome stories, let us know. Send them to me, post them on our Facebook, email them to us, whatever, and I'll read them off because I'm going to run out before long. Not going to lie. Okay, anyways, this is a more recent story, and it's kind of short. This is about Bryant. I think Bryant Shantosh is how you say his name. He was a lieutenant in the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, and this was in March 2003 when they ran into an ambush. They were heading north into Baghdad. They hit this ambush with machine gun fire, RPGs, and mortars and stuff, and the adjacent Humvee, one of the guys was killed by an RPG, so he had to make a choice, because there was shit going on all over, all sorts of crazy stuff. And he told his driver there was a berm. The way it's described, it's not very clear how it's described, but there was a berm that turn that shit off, Toad. God. There was a berm that all the enemies were hiding behind, and then there was also an irrigation ditch. So he told him to drive straight towards that berm, so the guy manning the 50 could take him out, which he did. And there was a machine gunner hiding behind that berm, and their machine gunner managed to take him out, and they drove and just slammed straight into that berm, and then they all just jumped out, and they jumped into this irrigation ditch, and it turned out being like 200 yards of a trench, and it was shallow. But they jumped out and they just started lighting everybody up. They lost my train of thought here. So they jump out and they just start unloading on these guys. And sooner or later, well, rather early on anyways, this guy's M16, it ends up jamming. So he hands his gun. I don't know why, but he handed his rifle to one of the other guys. Maybe it was just spur of the moment thing or how it worked. But he traded rifles with one of his other guys because his was jammed, and then he just kept on going and smoking guys. So they're just going, and this guy's, he was talking about in here, he's talking about referring to another one of the guys. He just kept going. He stopped. He's shooting once. He's shooting twice. But this guy, Bryant Shantosh, he said he was just pulling the trigger, just going freaking crazy. So eventually He runs out of ammo in his M16, so he throws that to the ground, picks up an AK-47, runs that out of ammunition, runs that, so he picks up another one, runs that out of ammunition. I guess he ran out of his sidearm too early on, and they cleared this 200-yard trench. Apparently, he killed like 20 guys in this 200-yard trench, cleared that all out. So then they had to turn back and get back to their convoy, and there was some enemy soldier laying there on the ground, pretended to play dead. I'm not sure how they noticed he was playing dead, but he was clutching onto this grenade, and they must have saw him moving or something. But he was all out of ammunition because he had just thrown his gun down and went through everything that he had. But it just so happened that when he noticed that guy laying on the ground, they were in the same spot where his M16 had jammed, so there was a few live rounds on the ground, so he had to scramble quick to pick up a few live rounds, load his M16 quick, and then kill this guy laying on the ground that was getting ready to pull this pin on this grenade to screw these guys over. Yeah,
crazy.
I think it said...
When was this?
This was in 2003. It said he believed he shot over 1,500 rounds.
Good God.
This was, seemed like
and a lot of those dudes, like a lot of them in the war didn't use like ear protection and shit. So that guy
I've always wondered about
deaf
that.
as the post at this point in his life, probably.
Right.
Yeah, that would have been, must have been when we were in Afghanistan.
Yep.
Was that where it was?
He said it was.
No, they were
near
heading
Baghdad.
north into Baghdad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha. You said you were running out of guys. We don't need to necessarily just limit this to just military actions either. We could get into civilians or first responders or just badass dudes that have run it. Like, say there's a wreck on the side of the road, or heck, anything. Or for that matter, if our listeners have stories of one of their friends or acquaintances that they know that they want to nominate, feel free to send that in to us, and we may use it. So
there's one I want you to do. It's Alvin York.
Yeah, I think that was the first one you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Pretty sure your dog farted because I just about tipped over. Holy.
No, doesn't smell good.
No, that was ripe.
Sam, tell us about your shirt you're wearing there. That's pretty snazzy.
Actually, this episode was sponsored, which I forgot to say that, by Masturbator Weapon Systems. So we're going to be doing a little bit more work with them guys in the future. So kind of stay tuned a little bit for that, and we'll be updating you on that whole deal. So kind of a fun deal. Should be cool. I don't know if you guys can see this on the video, but pretty sweet shirt actually. Masturbator Weapon Systems. I dig it.
Top of the line.
Yeah. So this is not one of our. I guess this is an hour 20. We probably got a good hour 15. So we don't need to go crazy long every time.
Yeah.
I know Box wanted to get back to his house at a decent time. So
it is Super Bowl Sunday.
Super Bowl Sunday. You guys gonna watch it?
Nope.
Yeah, I might. I don't know. I might
tune in for a few
Don't
minutes.
lie, Sam. You're going to watch it.
I haven't watched the game. I literally haven't watched the full game all year. And I've probably only watched maybe half an hour, 45 minutes of actual football all year long. So I don't know. Maybe I'll watch it. I want the Chiefs to win. I hate supporting the NFL, but I want the Chiefs to win, so I might pay a little bit of attention at least.
Yeah. I'm just still salty with the 49ers ever having Colin Kaepernick as a player, so
they should have been. He should have been our what a douche this year in this episode.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
you want to do what a douche?
Did we not do what a douche?
We totally didn't do what a douche.
Well, we don't have to. If you don't want
to. What a douche! I totally want to do what a douche. I totally skipped that.
So
my bad.
I don't have a particular one this year.
Well, then we don't need to do it.
But the one that I had was a little too controversial amongst this group, so I didn't do that. But what I did find was a wonderful list of some of the funniest headlines as far as like police headlines and stuff goes. There was an animal complaint reported where the color was reporting a belligerent squirrel preventing him from using his boat dock. He literally called the police to complain about a belligerent squirrel. He said he knew there was nothing that could be done about it, but he wanted the police to know what kind of squirrels were running about the
There's a
neighborhood.
bad squirrel around here.
Real manly dude.
Nothing that could be done about it. No, there totally is.
Yeah, we can go
Kick
shoot
it.
the squirrel.
Yeah.
All right.
Get your
Heard of a
pellet
BB
out
gun?
and let her eat.
Oh gosh, hilarious. There was another one here is dog attack. Police responded to a report of 2 dogs running loose and attacking ducks at about 11:20 a.m. Sunday. The officer cited a resident for the loose dogs. The ducks refused medical treatment and left the area.
All right, then.
Like they actually asked the ducks. I'll say the last one here is there was a report of suspicious people doing something with flashlights by the side of North 5th Street. A deputy checked and found the people were not suspicious, but merely Canadian.
Canadians are kind of
pretty damn
suspicious.
suspicious, if you ask
Oh,
me.
anytime they do something wrong, they're going to apologize 26 times
Sorry,
for it anyway.
sorry.
Hey, what are you doing there, E?
Yeah, that's
sorry.
That's pretty suspicious, if you ask me.
Just out.
Oh, was my flashlight in your eyes there? Oh, sorry about that.
Sorry, boot it.
Sorry.
Sorry, a boot. You gotta elongate the ooh,
Yeah, but
a boot, bolt.
That counts in sorry, too.
Yeah,
They always say
that's
sorry.
true. That's true.
Your
So-
spare parts, aren't you, bud?
All right, well, it's been good to get the crew back together. This is, like I said, this is the first one in a long time we had all 4 of us back together, so it's been fun. Frustrating for me at times because it's like fucking herding
Cats.
kitties around here. So
Yeah.
but it was a good one. We will be back in 2 weeks, obviously. Do we got anything else we want to throw out or talk about before we end the episode?
I don't think so. Just reiterate to the people that if there's things that you guys want to hear about, if there's things that...
Which one of you fuckers dropped that musty bastard?
I think that's the dog.
That is not a dog fart. That's
We were feeding her chicken and deer.
That's
so
true.
It's probably
I don't know.
her.
It smells like
That's
something's
what I'm
been
saying.
inside Johnson for about a week and hasn't finally came out.
Well, hey. But if there's topics that you guys want us to talk about, if you want to, hear our opinions on things or want to nominate people for the baddest dude of the week, just let us know. You can send us a message on Facebook or comment on YouTube or Full 30 or wherever you're listening, and we'll talk about it. We haven't had a viewer suggested topic for a while. I know we had Miles. We kind of ruined that for him because we waited like 3 episodes before we actually talked about what he wanted to hear about. But
that's all right.
we
still
did get
talked
to
about
it. We did get.
We're
to
not
it, so-
real speedy, but we covered it.
Yeah. So, yeah, just make sure if you guys are enjoying our content, make sure you let us know. Leave a like. Share it with your friends. That's the biggest thing. Sharing it with your friends and sharing it with other people that you think would enjoy it. And we just hope that we can keep making stuff that you guys like to watch. We don't want to. We enjoy doing it, so we're going to keep making it regardless, honestly. But making sure that you guys enjoy it, and if there are certain things that you guys want to hear us talk about, we want to hear about it, so we can give you the content that you guys are looking for. So
give you what you want.
It seems odd that
it's like Burger
someone
King. We
might.
want it to have it your way.
It seems odd that someone might actually want to hear our opinion on something. Like, who gives a shit about our opinion?
That's true. That's true.
We're just regular dudes that don't know a damn thing.
Well,
But-
maybe they'll. Hey, let's
Maybe
see
it's
what
for
these
comedy
idiots think.
purposes. What do these dipshits think? I want to hear what these dumbasses
Could
have
be
to say
funny
about
as
this.
shit.
Right. Yeah.
That could be a name of our new YouTube show. 4 dipshits.
Right. 4 dumb guys that don't know shit.
That's probably actually the nickname to our podcast.
Right.
That's the Google tag for it.
4 dumb guys who don't know shit.
So yeah, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been fun. We had a damn good day. Ate some good food.
I know, and it made me super sleepy.
Yeah, Toad's about falling asleep over here, so
If
we're
you
gonna,
catch a whiff of
we're gonna
another
call
one,
it
Toad,
an
that one was
episode.
me.
You're a bastard.
Appreciate you sticking around, and like Jonathan said, feel free to give us a shout with any suggestions or ideas or concerns. And yeah, we'll be back, of course, in 2 weeks. We changed our publish date from every other Wednesday to every other Monday now. So that means we'll be putting out the videos on every other Tuesdays. So
I hate that you're here, Toad.
yeah. Anyways, guys, thanks for sticking with us. And until we talk to you next time, remember, life's short, live free. God bless you guys. What'd Toad do?
He keeps
Cranked up
cranking the
fucking
volume on
headphones.
everything.
He's really just been a pain this episode.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm tired.
You're fired.
Good.
You're fired.
You can't fire me. I quit.